Hi, I'm Ella on the Run, and thank you for watching Music News. Subscribe right here.
Hey. Ella on the Run, it's a pleasure to meet you. How you doing?
Very good, thank you for having me.
Good stuff. How did you get your name?
Ella on the Run. Ella's my middle name, so that's kind of where that came from. And then I was looking for something to add on to that wouldn't be, because there's quite a few Ellas out there, obviously. And on the Run, that... It's a long story, but it kind of popped into my mind. I saw it in reference to something else at some point, and then I kind of stole it from that other thing that I saw. I'm not going to give too much away, but I really liked the two together, and since I've started performing under that name, I don't know, I feel like I can identify it really quite well. So
yeah, no,
and
it seems to work, definitely.
Yeah.
New single, Starlines, taken from your War of Words EP. Lovely chilled out, electronic, synth-driven pop tune.
Yeah.
What's it's all about?
Starlion is about that moment when I think, when you meet somebody new and you know that you probably shouldn't go there because there's some dangers involved, or maybe it's not really okay, but still you kind of want to. So it's kind of that back and forth between the chemistry of a new relationship or a new encounter, I would say. But still being quite aware of the dangers that it might bring with it.
Yeah. Great stuff. You recorded the debut EP with Matthew Bang of Interscope and Timbaland's Mosley Music Group.
Yeah.
You studied together as well at Berkeley
we did.
College of Music,
Yeah.
so that was a natural fit,
Completely
progression.
natural. We're really good friends. We already worked together quite a bit when we were at college. And then kind of lost touch a couple of years, and then I kind of packed my bags and went off to LA, and I said, "Hey, you still around? What are you doing?" and it felt, we got together, we started writing, and it felt quite natural, and as if we had hadn't not seen each other for a few years. So
Yeah.
and he's super talented.
Where did you grow up?
In Switzerland, actually. Yeah,
Okay.
Switzerland, a little bit in France, and went to study in the States. So everywhere, but I've been in London for 9 years now.
Right, good.
So I've traveled around a lot.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you studied music management as well, and you
I
worked
did.
in the industry.
I did.
Seen it from the other side.
Yeah.
So is all going according to plan at the moment?
Yeah, I think so. I think it definitely helps knowing how to approach something, especially initially when you don't have the support yet, the support system around you, to be able. I think a lot of musicians maybe kind of don't really know where to start or where to go, and that I was quite lucky in knowing kind of who to approach and what to do, and with everything that has to do with not just the creative side, but also kind of the branding, the getting yourself out there, making your website look good, a lot of tools that I think musicians sometimes forget about.
Definitely.
So that helped for sure.
Yeah, we're in more of a sort of do-it-yourself market, as it were.
Exactly.
And
It's really important nowadays because you can do
100%.
everything yourself as a musician.
Yeah.
You can get yourself out there.
Excellent. I mean, you were placed on the 7th on the Glastonbury longlist for emerging artists
Yeah.
with a debut single as well, Golden Boys. Was that a surprise at the time?
Huge surprise. I'd literally just brought it out. I had, no PR, no nothing. And I stumbled, I think I got the final mix for Golden Boys 3 days earlier from my producer. And then I stumbled across the Glastonbury entry, for the long list, the entry week. And it was literally 1 week where you can apply for it. And so I just sent it, and then I completely forgot about it. And then a month later or so, I just got all these tweets saying that I got onto the long list, which was really exciting, and especially because I was just starting out. So it gave me a lot of energy and, hope, or
Absolutely.
not hope, but, it was good. A boost, exactly.
Yeah.
So it was good.
And you've credited Lucas for adding the Scandinavian
Yes.
pop synth beats to the sound. Is that sort of going to continue?
Definitely. I mean, that's I love everything that is Scandinavian pop, that vibe, kind of the electronic pop vibe. I've opened for a few kind of Swedish artists as well now, so that kind of seems to fit into their kind of sound as well, because they've approached me. So and it's the kind of music I like listening to anyway. So.
Yeah, no, it sounds great. On War of Words video, I noticed you had a Guns N' Roses t-shirt on. You bit of a fan?
Yes, I love them. I like I have a very eclectic taste in music, and I definitely, in the 90s, definitely dabbled in some good old Guns N' Roses, but it's also just a very cool t-shirt. So.
Yeah, no, it looked good. I mean, you said your background is Swiss, French, South African as well. Has that heritage itself influenced the music?
Definitely, I think so. I traveled a lot because of my background, because my parents are quite eclectic, and I think any experience influences what you write and how you write. Except if you're stuck in a little bubble, then I think you're ultimately going to write about different things or have different sonic influences, I guess. So
what about the Swiss element then? No, Jack Savaretti, wasn't he? He was brought up in Switzerland.
Jack, yeah, he might have been. I actually know. I've met him a couple of times. Very nice guy, but
Top man, yeah.
But yeah, I think he might have been. But I think his main influences are probably more Italian.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think the Swiss scene is not very big because it's quite a small country.
Yeah.
So I've always had to venture out, but I definitely started my music career, so to speak, in Switzerland, and that's where I kind of discovered that this was what I wanted to do. So.
And we said that you recently supported Clement Marfo, a big music news favourite, top man. It's a good laugh. Fantastic,
great guy. It was a fantastic show. He was actually debuting his new material that night, so I was one of the opening acts, and we had a blast. It was good. It was really good fun, and I was super honoured to be able to open for him because. Yeah, he's really cool.
Was he sounding good? New music?
He sounded amazing. He's been off, I think, touring the US now, and I just see him on Instagram constantly at Coachella and in LA, and I think he just performed in New York. So he's having a good response to his new material.
Good.
Yeah.
Has your new EP, has that been recorded yet?
Working on it right now. Working on new material. A couple of singles coming up that are already recorded. So, but they're probably going to come out more as singles. But we're definitely working on new material that's going to come out towards the end of the year.
Okay, and album-wise, what's happening?
We're looking. We're deciding. We're just doing the material now, and then we'll decide whether we do it more as singles or as an EP, or working. Definitely at some point want to release a full album. Don't know if that's going to be the end of this year or next year. Just kind of build some traction at the moment.
Yeah. And all the music is sort of similar style. Are you sort of looking at branching out into different areas?
Yeah, I think there's always a natural evolution of because Golden Boys, for instance, my first single, I wrote that, and that's already like a year and a half ago. So these things kind of obviously the way my taste also kind of evolves, and the people I meet and work with are maybe different, and so different influences makes the music kind of grow into certain directions. But I hope to always have a certain recognizable style that people can definitely say, oh yeah, that's definitely an on the run track. Even if the music production is slightly different or becomes a bit more electronic or slightly less, it's always going to be a very typical me track,
Yeah, definitely.
So that's hopefully what it's going to sound like.
How do you approach sort of writing a new song?
Oh, that depends on who I'm working with, really. Sometimes I have ideas already, and then I just get together with somebody and we kind of finish it off and just kind of work on it bit by bit, and then sometimes I get a track that I think, wow, this is amazing, and so I'll write something on it. And sometimes, like with Matt, we write very much together. So we just sit down, we'll listen to different influences.
Lyrics and music,
like artists that we both like, which mood we're going for, and then it kind of just happens quite organically.
Brilliant. Well, I mean, who do you draw inspiration from yourself then?
There's so many amazing people out there at the moment. Mainly, I think I've said this a lot in interviews, but there's a lot of really cool girls out there right now.
Yeah.
At the moment, I'm listening to Shura. I think she's really fun. Banks. I've said that a couple of times. I think. Who else? I like Jessie Ware.
Yeah.
I like. Oh God, there's so many. Tove though, she's cool. Tove Stricke that I just opened for.
Yes.
All the Swedish girls. Lykkeli, another Swedish one. So a lot of power girls basically.
Yeah, so you're saying sort of powerful, sort of feisty women.
Exactly.
Is that what you are? Is that what you're developing into?
I think maybe. I don't know. Probably I'm a bit mellower than them. But no, I can be feisty if I have to be.
I'm sure you can.
War of Words was quite feisty. That was probably the feistiest one so far.
Yeah,
but I really enjoyed that one. So.
When you recorded that EP, that was a whole sort of about sort of the breakup, the getting together, the enjoyable bit, and the breakup. That was almost a trilogy.
It is kind of. Yeah, it was quite natural. It was kind of that part where you just meet somebody. Then there's Rodeo Clowns, which is about the ups and downs of a relationship. And then there's War of Words, which is kind of like the crumbling end of the relationship. The point when you're like, okay, this is not going to work.
Yeah, and your new EP, new singles, where are we going?
Oh, you'll have to see.
Okay. Clue?
Little Clue, I think it's going to be a bit lighter, not as probably still dark, because that's kind of how I write. I'm never going to be the lovey-dovey happy writer, but less of the relationship and maybe a bit more of the fun kind of singly stuff.
Good. And what was your favourite song that you've recorded so far? Your personal
of my songs?
Yeah.
Oof. That's a difficult question. I still I'm a huge fan of Golden Boys, my first single. Maybe because it was my first single, so it's kind of like my baby. You know, I loved recording. I would say there's one that's coming out, that's going to come out at some point soon, that I like very, very much. It's called This Is Not Love, so that's a very nice one. And then, no, I have a few. It's hard. Yeah, it's easier to tell you which one I like performing, I think, rather than which one I liked recording. Live, yeah. Live, it's, I have a song called Cavalry, which is really fun. There's a lot of energy, and it's good with the crowd, and has, like, interaction and stuff. But recording, no, Golden Boys, probably.
Excellent. And let's say best albums of all time, what would you come out with?
Oh, God. Of everybody. I'll probably go back to the really old ones, you know, the classics that everybody adores, like Jagged Little Pill, Alanis Morissette. Who else I like? D'Angelo's Voodoo. So that's where my tastes are, like, completely all over the place. Those are the things that really, I think, influenced me. Originally, Aaliyah, One in a Million. Those are, like, my kind of backgrounds. And then I went into, Ace of Base. I loved them as well. That's where the electronic stuff comes back into play. And then more recently, that's a hard one because I don't feel like I've actually purchased full albums anymore. Like, I'm more into the, you know, buying the singles like most people are. But good albums recently. Well, the new D'Angelo is pretty good as well. That's a whole different direction again to my music. So, yeah.
Great stuff. Yeah. I mean, thanks a lot for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to say to Music News watchers?
Oh, well, listen to Ella on the Run. You can find me everywhere online. EllaOnTheRun.com, SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes. And, yeah, keep an eye out for gigs, and I hope to see you there.
Fantastic. Thanks a lot. Cheers.
Thank you.
Lovely.